Hey everyone, today's video is another tip on how to live better in the Philippines.
So imagine the scenario, you go to a government office to get something done, a simple request. You bring all your documents, you wait in a very long line, and finally it's your turn. Then the staff tells you, "Sir, something is missing. Ma'am, something is missing." A paper that nobody mentioned the last time you came. You explained that the other staff said you didn't need it. You even remember her name. But that doesn't matter. Even if you have evidences that you got the wrong instruction, it doesn't matter. The person in front of you insists that their information is correct. They will not apologize. They will not acknowledge that you were given wrong instructions. Just, that's the rule, sir. You need to come back next time. If you've lived in the Philippines for any amount of time, you know exactly what I'm talking about. And today I'm going to explain why this happens, because once you understand it, everything starts to make sense. So we are going to answer one big question. Why do people in power here refuse to admit they're wrong? This is going to be a very honest conversation, and not a lot of people will like it for sure. And by the end of this video, I think you're going to understand something about Filipino culture that most people don't openly talk about. So here's the thing, most foreigners don't realize at first, in the Philippines, authority doesn't just mean you're in charge. It means you are automatically correct. Think about that for a second. It doesn't matter if you have the wrong information. It doesn't matter if someone has proof you're wrong. If you are the one with the higher position, you are right. And the person below you will not correct you. Not because they don't know better, but because in this culture, your rank is what determines the truth. Not facts, not logic, your rank. I've experienced this a lot myself. And I have a friend, and he was looking for a job. Before he accepted the offer, he is specifically asked the project manager, "Where's the work location, sir?" No, ma'am, it's a ma'am actually. "Where's the work location, ma'am?" She said, "Mandaluyong." Clear answer. So he said, "Okay, yes, that's perfect." When training started, suddenly the location changed. Mandaluyong for 4 days, and then Cubao for 1 day. He objected. He said, "But ma'am, you told me Mandaluyong only. That's the only reason I took this job, because he's a foreigner." You know what the project manager said? She just insisted she gave the correct information from the very beginning. That she always does her job with ethics. That she never said Mandaluyong only. So here's the thing. There was a witness. Another person in that conversation heard her say Mandaluyong only. There was actual proof she was wrong. But, it didn't matter. She never apologized. She never admitted the mistake. She just kept insisting she was right. And then I have another friend who told me about this same thing because she just couldn't understand the behavior. She's not a Filipino, by the way, also. So she worked at a company here for 6 years, and she experienced this kind of thing constantly with her coworkers. So she came to me one day and asked, "Is this normal? Is this just how Filipinos are?" She told me it feels like gaslighting. Every time something went wrong, nobody owned it. People rewrite what they say. They denied things she clearly remembered. And after 6 years of that, she just had enough. She left and started looking for another company. And here's the crazy part. It happened again immediately to her, right at the beginning of her application process, before she even started the new job. So this is not about one bad manager or one toxic workplace. This is a pattern, and it shows up everywhere. You can put your opinions in the comment section, but this is the question. Why is it so hard to just say, "I'm sorry, I made a mistake"? So there are a few things happening at the same time. The first one is something called hiya, or embarrassment. So in Filipino culture, admitting a mistake in front of other people is not just embarrassing. It feels like destroying yourself, especially if you are in a position of authority. Your title is your identity here. So if you admit you were wrong, you're not just correcting an error, you are taking apart who you are in that room. That's too painful for a lot of people. So instead, they deny, they deflect, They make excuses. Sometimes they even rewrite the story in their own head. Anything to protect the image, anything to protect the image. And then the second thing is deeper. It goes back a very long time. So the Philippines was colonized for over 300 years, right? Under that system, the people in power were never accountable to the people below them. You didn't correct your superior. You didn't question the friar or the Spanish official. If you did, there were real consequences. So people learned to survive by following, by staying quiet, by never challenging upward. That programming didn't disappear when the Philippines became independent. It got passed down from generation after generation. It became part of how we relate to each other, especially at work. And the result is what you see today. Leaders who never apologize, managers who rewrite reality to protect themselves. They twist the story. They point fingers at each other. Employees who watch a bad decision happen and say nothing because the system was never built for honesty going upward. It was built for obedience going downward. What do you actually do about all of this in everyday life? First, don't fight it directly. This is the biggest mistake foreigners make. When you push back hard against someone in authority here, especially in public, they will dig in. They will not back down because backing down in front of people is too shameful, even when they know you're right. So stay calm, stay polite. That is not a weakness. This is how you actually get things done here. And then second, let them feel respected. What do I mean by that is say po, say opo, acknowledge their position. It sounds small, but it completely changes how people treat you because you are speaking their language, the language of hierarchy. Third, go higher if you need to. The person at the front desk or the gate may have no real power to help you, but their supervisor might. Ask politely to speak to someone else. Don't make it a threat. Just ask. And fourth, manage your expectations. Not every situation is going to be resolved cleanly. Not every wrong is going to be corrected. Sometimes the broken system just stays broken. The most practical thing you can do is work around it, not through it. Look, this is a complicated topic and I want to be clear. I'm not saying all Filipinos are like this. I'm saying the system produces this behavior. And that system has very deep roots. Colonization, weak education, hierarchy, saving face culture, no accountability from the top, all of it. Understanding it doesn't mean you have to accept it. It just means you stop being surprised by it. And when you stop being surprised, you start handling the situation a lot better. So guys, if this video gave you something to think about, please like and subscribe. I post videos like this every week and I really want to hear from you. Have you guys experienced this as a foreigner, as a Filipino? Drop it in the comments. Let's talk about it. See you guys in the next one.